We have 4 different product updates that we think you should be aware of. And the first one that we have is connected to Subtasks, available from the personal plan as well as all the paid tiers. We are able to customize how do we want to visualize those subtasks. So here I have an open project, and once you open up a task, you'll be able to scroll down, and over here, you'll have the menu in order to filter and sort your subtasks. So we have 2 filter options as of now, which is hiding completing subtasks or hiding subtasks that are not assigned to you. In this case, there's no subtasks that are matching my view controls, and Asana will let you know that. And then the sorting options. So you have the manual sort, and that's going to just sort the subtasks as they were created and ordered in the first place. And then you have the chance to sort by assignee in alphabetical order, or to sort by due date, where you see oldest to newest or newest to oldest. So that's something new and cool in order to be able to display the tasks as we'd like to, especially on large projects with lots of tasks and subtasks. The second one that we have is related to searching within Asana. Now, even if you are within a project, you have the chance to search using either Command F, or you'll have the button in order to look within the project in Asana. That's also available from the personal tier as well as all the paid tiers. I can do Command F as well, and I'll have the option to search, for example, for Office, and then that will show me if something is matching that, or I have the option to search this view over here, and same thing, that's going to look for any tasks that match my criteria. This is, for example, the one that appears if I type Office over here. So that's something that works well as well in order to quickly find information and tasks within a project in Asana. We briefly talked about it on a past webinar about this, but it's now available for starter tier as well. So if you are on the cheapest Asana tier, you now have the option to use status update templates as well, not only available for the advanced and enterprise tiers. You're going to find that in the customize at the top right of my project, and then at the bottom, we're now going to have the option to add a status template. So if I click into that, if I already had a status template connected to my project, then that will be visible over here, or I have the option to create a new one or browse the organization's library, such as Asana does it for custom fields when those are saved in the organization's library. This is the same concept for status templates, so you'll be able to use them across multiple projects. So if I were to create a new, then I'm going to get to the status update builder. It's a very complete builder, I would say. Like, you have multiple options in order to define what's going to be the main title, if you want to add a placeholder for that. If by default you would like to set up a status update, you can. Otherwise, you can keep it empty, and then whoever is making that status update can complete it. And then over here, you have the chance to drag and drop new sections to your status update, write any placeholder text in order to guide your users. And you're also available to add projects highlights. If you're not familiar with that, what that is going to allow you to do is add milestones, tasks, approvals, incomplete tasks by assignee, completed tasks by assignee, and then incomplete tasks by section. For the first 3, you have the option to narrow down what's going to be the time frame that you're going to look. For example, we want to search for completed milestones in the last 2 weeks. And then you also have the chance to define what is the status of those milestones, right? If you want to focus on overdue milestones, because you want to add that chart into the risk and blockers section, for example, you would switch that, and then you would drag and drop that into your template. So that's always going to consider those overdue milestones in the past last week once you open up your status update template in your project. Once you give a template name, that's important, because otherwise you won't be able to save your template. And then you define the title, then you can just save your template. And then once that is there, you can remove it from your project if you switch that. But now, how is that going to be visible when you're setting up a status update? You'll follow the same steps. So set status update, you'll define what's going to be the overall status. And now you're going to find at the top this menu to either use the connected status template that we just created, or to create a new template. And then that will take you to the builder as well. So this was a June update again, but it was only available for advanced and enterprise. And now starter tier users also have it available. So you'll also able to add that into a project template or to bring it to an existing project because it's going to be saved in the organization's library. The last update that we'd like to demo is related to reference fields. The update there is that reference fields can now point to teams. If you're not familiar with reference fields, this is a type of custom field that allows you to link different objects within Asana. So you may have a task and you can say, okay, this is the team that requested this task, or this task is also connected to this specific goal. So you have the chance to link different Asana objects, and now we have teams available for that. So if you found yourself in the past creating a single select field or a multi-select field in order to say what is the team that requested this or what is the team that is managing this task, you can now, rather than having a separate custom field, you can use a reference fields and use the teams that you already have in your organization. That's available for Advanced and Enterprise Plus tiers. I'm going to go to the list view in this case, and then we're going to scroll to the right in order to add a reference field, right? We'll click this. You can also do that from your customized menu. And then over here, we'll select reference. And once you're there, of course, you'll provide the title of your field, and then you'll define the source over here. So we had tasks, projects, portfolios, and goals. We now also have the chance to select the teams. So once I do that, I can add a filter if I'd like to. So the only filter that we have at the moment is team that where the members are these people, right? Teams where Alan may be a member of the team or James may be a member of that team. If useful, you can add a filter like that. Otherwise, you remove the filter and then you'll be able to select from any team on the organization. If I show you my sidebar over here, you'll see how I have my staff team, marketing team, sales team, like multiple teams over here. And now I am able to reference those over here. So you see how it's going to open up this drop down with the teams that I'm part of. And if I click show more teams, then that's going to show me all the teams that I have access to. It may be possible that there may be more teams in your organization, but if you don't have access to it, then you won't be able to reference that. That's something to consider as well. So there are some other June updates that we'd like to mention. The first one that we have is now users are able to sign into Asana using Microsoft 365. So I think this is great. There are many companies that use Microsoft and that was not available in the past, and it's available as well for the personal plan and beyond. The second one, if you like to use your keyboard rather than your mouse, now we are able in Asana projects board view, specifically in the board view, we can use the arrows in order to move between the sections, which are columns in the board view. You can move a task from one section to another, or you can edit the task title or description only using your keyboard. So the other two we also wanted to let you know about is we now have portfolio script actions. We are very excited about these ones because script actions were available at the project level and they've been available for quite a long time. And that allowed us to do certain actions regular rules couldn't do, right? So for example, if you were to update a custom field in the parent task, once something happens in a subtask, then we could run a script action for that. And now script actions are available at the portfolio level. So we have more flexibility in order to automate what happens with our projects once we add them to portfolios. So that's great. It's available in the enterprise or enterprise tier. And stay tuned because we're going to be creating content and presenting options to show you what you can do with portfolio script actions as well. And the last update is related to capacity plans. So we have the option now to export capacity plans allocations to CSV so that if you want to get more granular or run certain type of reports, for example, using business intelligence tools or in a spreadsheet, you have the chance to do that as well. And that's also available in the Enterprise and Enterprise Plus tiers because capacity is available on those tiers, right? So those are the updates that we have for you this month. Thank you all for attending. And yep, if you'd like to, you can join us on the AI Studio office hours, which is happening not next Wednesday, but the other one, or otherwise I will see you on August 1.